What's up guys, it's your boy FPR, and today we're going to be talking about how to save money by basically using flour. Let's go. Alright, welcome to my channel again. Welcome back. So, we're in my kitchen. Today we're going to talk about how is it that we're actually going to use this flour. It's really simple. Think about every product that you get. There is a cost of labor added to it. So what we're going to do is remove the cost of labor by doing it ourselves. Like this, we can reduce the cost. We can have one item in which we can use in multiple fashions. With flour you can make bread, you can make flatbreads, of course. We can make pancakes, which is a nice breakfast little staple. We can also make pasta, which is super important because it has egg and it has basically a form of protein that is fairly cheap, quick and easy. This is a great method to save money. So we're going to need, number one, a tripod that does not show because this is really bad, it's distracting. But to actually make the bread, we're going to need scale, salt and sugar. Salt about 2 tablespoons, and sugar about 1 tablespoon. We're going to use half a stick of butter, not the whole thing, just half. To use oil, and we're going to put the scale here because I'm running out of space. I like to add milk, powdered milk to mine. It gives it a nice fluffy texture, so pretty much it. Again, if you don't have the scale, you can just kind of use cups as measurements. The idea here is that you're going to use 3 parts of flour and 3 parts of dry material to 1 part of water, and that gives about a 75% hydration, which gives us a really nice consistency to the bread. So it's kind of important to keep those measurements. I like to use the scale because of that, but you do not have to. You can actually just you know, like I said earlier, use a cup. Bread cannot be bread without yeast, so we're gonna either have instant yeast, you can have that, or you can, you know, ahead of time make some what is this called? Sourdough, I think. Yeah, sour mother dough. What? Yeah, mother. Yeah. So anyways, we're gonna use this mother fucker. We're gonna use this mother in order to actually create the rising effect of the bread, and that is what gives us the nice little bubbles. And that's pretty much it. Let's get baking. Let's go to the B-roll. By the way, if you need all the ingredients, I'm going to have them written down on the description. Later you can just copy and go shop, so it'll be easy. If you want to pull it out on your mobile, you will also have the ability because it'll be all in text. You can just copy and paste. Okay, in order to actually begin doing this, we're going to put the flour, which we measured to be about this much. We're going to first add all of our dry ingredients. So in the bowl you already have the amount of sugar, salt that I needed. You also have, now coming up, the actual butter and a little bit of water. So the first thing I like to do is I like to melt my butter, make it a little bit liquid. It does make it a little bit easier to mix into the actual components. The amount of water that I have added to the actual mixture here is about 8 ounces, so it's actually not too much. And now we're going to let this mix for about 5 minutes. The more that you let it mix, the better. Now remember, we have not added our pulley. The pulley is basically the mixture of the mother dough with a little bit of water and a little bit of flour. And I like to add that after I make this first. So I let this rest for a little bit, flatten it out, and once I'm done flattening it out, I add the pulley after I let it rest for about 30 minutes. Alright, make sure that you get all of that dough, because that dough is basically dough that you're saving, and make sure you flatten that too, because the more that you flatten, the easier it is to mix the pulley in. By the way, pulley means basically aged dough. It's basically rotten dough. It's what gives it the flavor. It's delicious. Alright, so here comes the pulley. Make sure that that is nice and mixed, nice and fluffy. Now that it's rested, we're going to add our pulley. Now you see our pulley is basically going to be what's going to hydrate this this bread, this dough, not necessarily the initial water. The initial water is just to mix it up. And now we're going to I like to help it. And then if you notice that it's a little too, wet, use a very little amount of flour at a time. Make sure that you add it inside the bowl until you get the consistency that you want to work with. I personally like it a little more hydrated because it gives me, in my opinion, better bread. But it will be soft to your person. It's however you want it. Smooth that is. Now I do like to add a little bit of oil just because I like the taste at the very end. About a tablespoon. And I don't have a photographer, like a camera girl for helper, so it's gonna look like this. Put it on, close that. I definitely need more space on my workstation here. So now that's just going to incorporate, and we're going to let it rest afterwards for about 30 minutes. Right. So it should look something like this, nice and smooth. You see that? Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to scrape a little bit out on the sides here, just to check that there's no like dry spots. Yep, looks like everything is nicely mixed. Now I'm just gonna let it rest. Alright, so that's how it should look, nice and smooth. If you guys can see this, try not to cut it, but try not to cut it. Here, it should look nice and smooth, just like that. You see that? Okay, so now we're gonna grab this. We're going to put a little bit of oil, dump it in there, and then we can start our folding process. Now the reason why I'm doing it here is because the dough is so hydrated that if I try to do it with my hands conventionally, it will just be, sticking all over. So we're gonna do it here with a little bit of oil to help us control the dough a little bit better. So we're gonna put this on the side here. We're gonna grab this, That is way too much oil. So let me change that. Actually, that's fine, I guess. We're gonna just use a tool because we are, you know, humans. And humans use tools. So you're gonna paint it all over this, and the more that you paint it, the better. Like that, it won't stick. Okay. And for the people that Alright, so now that we're ready to fold, we're going to grab a bowl of water. Super important, because or else it will stick. Make sure you wet your hands. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna fold it like up. Make sure you stretch it. Now the key is to stretch it without tearing it. You're gonna stretch and then fold. You're gonna flip, grab, stretch, fold. Flip, grab, stretch, fold. We're just gonna do that one more time, and then we're gonna kind of turn it on its belly. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Turn it on its belly. Yeah, smack it a little. You gotta smack that dough. We're gonna cover it again. 30 minutes. We're gonna come back. We're gonna repeat that 3 times. That is disgusting. You didn't see that, guys. Yeah. We're gonna repeat that a bunch of times. I'm not gonna use this towel anymore because it looks gross. I cleaned something and it just looks like shit now. Anyways, we're gonna cover it, do that a couple more times. The more that we do this, the better. The better the flavor. The longer that you take in folding your bread, the more flavor you're going to develop, which means, you know, better sandwiches, better meals. So take that extra time. Okay, it's been another 30 minutes. Here we go. We're gonna fold it one more time. Water. Yeah. Yeah. Fold. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's check a little bit of strength, and it's a little too sticky. It needs a little more folding. You know it's ready when you touch it. If it bounces back. And you see those bubbles? That's ready. Okay, we're going to bake this at 450 for about 15 minutes to create a nice crust, and then afterwards we're going to finish it at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes or so. Keep an eye on it. Now another thing that we're going to do is we're going to add water on the bottom here to create a vapor. That vapor is going to allow for a nice crusty crust, but it will also let the insides stay nice and fluffy. So that's a super nice trick. When we open up the actual door, we're gonna have to spray it here, but in the middle of it, when we open up the door, we're gonna spray it in the middle of the actual baking when we go from 450 to 350. Alright, that's it. Let's go make some bread, and make sure that after you're done making the bread, you put some butter and, you know, enjoy it. So peace out, guys. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like. It's your boy. See you next time. Peace.